When I was 6 years old, I watched the movie Legally Blonde, and I fell in love with Elle Woods. I mean, her intelligence, her charisma, her amazing shoe collection, the girl was perfect. And best of all, she went to my dream school, which, of course, was Harvard University. Now, I held on to that dream for a couple of years, until one brutal day, when my dreams were crushed upon discovering the website College Confidential. In case you guys don't know what that is, it's sort of an online college admissions forum. Regardless, after browsing the site for a couple hours, I pretty much decided I was screwed. I became less and less certain that Harvard, or any other college for that matter, really had a place for me. So I decided that doing as much as I could, as fast as I could, would be my ticket to a bright and shiny future. I mean, after all, how often do you hear about the nice, quiet, ordinary girl next door changing the world? You don't. Instead, you hear about people like Jacob Barnett, a 14-year-old quantum physicist. Let me say that one more time. A 14-year-old quantum physicist who's currently expanding Einstein's theory of relativity. So you understand my dilemma. From a young age, I was certain. Achievements were the key to success. Success was the key to happiness. And happiness, well, that was the key to a good life. So really, using the transitive property, and I knew this because I was a very gifted kid, achievements equaled a good life. And just like that, I was locked into the overachiever mindset. So I joined chorus, and debate club, and math club, and art club, and science club, and the school's literary magazine, and the school newspaper, and just about any other club that there was for the sake of having a club to put in my college application. And in middle school, everything was wonderful, and I was brilliant, and the whole world was just mine to claim. Until all of a sudden, about 3 months into my freshman year, when my 15-year-old brain broke in a way that I couldn't really imagine at the time. For the first time, I'd forgotten how to get out of bed in the morning. I started getting emails from teachers asking me why I hadn't turned in papers or homework assignments when the incompleted assignments were sitting at the bottom of my backpack. I quit all my sports, skipped all of my clubs, and ended up spending the rest of my freshman year on a psychiatrist's couch. Now, I'm sure you guys have all heard this story before, right? I mean, maybe you've even experienced it. Textbook overachiever's mental health takes a nosedive. He or she reevaluates their life and learns how to battle with depression and anxiety and emerges a stronger and more balanced person like a butterfly out of a cocoon. I mean, it's a Lifetime movie. But the question that we're not asking enough, and the question that desperately needs an answer is, why have we heard this story so many times? And the answer to that ties into the psychological trap of overachievement culture. This philosophy permeates into Andover too. I mean, we are all brilliant students, but we are brilliant students that turn test scores into social currency and who brag about getting 3 hours of sleep. And perhaps what's a little bit more worrying is that we are not alone in this. By subscribing to the belief that the more you do, the better off you are, our generation becomes hyper-focused and hyper-competitive. And as a result, we set ourselves up for a slew of problems. In short, our ambition is such a powerful tool, but we're using it wrong. I'm really sorry, that was a lot to throw at you guys. If it helps, it's not your fault. You guys are probably taught from a young age that overachievement is supposed to be a good thing. I mean, we see it everywhere, from magazine articles that praise multitasking to the laundry list of honors needed for the perfect college app. So, where exactly does doing it all go wrong? Well, for starters, and you all probably knew this one, overachievement often comes at the expense of a healthy mind. A 2010 study from San Diego State University reports that 5 times the number of high school students have reported having depression and anxiety as compared to their counterparts in the 1920s and 30s. Now, to put this fact in historical context, the 1920s and 30s are known as the Great Depression. Just think about it. The diseases that stem from overachievement culture come from a need for validation. Students ultimately just need to prove that they are enough to each other, to their parents, even to themselves. For a devastating example, let's take a look across the country. In Palo Alto, which is clear Stanford territory, a series of devastating suicides committed by seemingly happy, popular, talented kids forced parents and educators to reevaluate the environment in which they were raising their children. Carolyn Wentworth, a senior at Palo Alto High School, discussed her frustration with the way that she felt everyone in her life, from school administration to her own best friend, dealt with the pressure to achieve. She said, "We are not students. We are lifeless bodies in a system that breeds competition and hatred and discourages teamwork and genuine learning. We lack sincere passion. We are sick." Now, back across the continent, I hear this sentiment all the time from my friends at home and especially from my friends here. I mean, we talk about how stressed out everyone here makes us, right? We talk about how a part of us cringes when we hear about that freshman that took all of his subject tests in 8th grade because we've only taken 2 and we're juniors. We talk about how a part of us panics when we hear about our friend's amazing summer job teaching English in Tibet because it's exactly the quirky, unrelatable, yet relentlessly talented thing that college admissions are looking for. And then, instead of questioning why we feel this way or whether or not we should, we basically go out into the world and do the exact same thing. Now, to make matters worse, the negative impact of overachievement doesn't end when we get into college. And I'd like to take the time to express my sincerest condolences to the seniors who expected it to. Psychologist Adrian Furman explains that overachievers' desire for perfection and accomplishment actually leaves them feeling vulnerable and haunted by an overall sense of failure, despite their best efforts. Now, the traits that we cultivate in high school will follow us through higher education and into the workplace, which means that that feeling is going to follow overachievers wherever they fail to have it all, whether that means getting a bad grade on a paper or missing out on a promotion. So the question that we're left with now is, what do we do about it? What can we do about it? How can we re-educate a generation of kids who have been relentlessly taught that more is better, that more is the key to getting into a good college and getting a good job and earning a good life? Now, my battle with overachievement culture has been long and complicated, and I'm still working with it every day. But what I figured out, so far at least, is that it comes down to 3 major areas. And I'd say if you can accomplish at least one of these, then you're off to a pretty good start. First, redefine achievement. Overachievement culture promises that the more you do, the better off you are. Now here's the thing. Overachievement does not equate to high achievement. High achievers are described by Slade Sundar, CEO of Fort Interactive, as strategists. They know when to wait, when to attack, when to sacrifice, and when to change direction. They achieve their victories on non-linear paths. And now here's the good news for you. High achievers are actually more likely to be promoted in the workplace and are genuinely thought of as leading happier, healthier, and more productive lives. In short, high achievement, not overachievement, is the key to a good life. Now, second, and perhaps equally as important, is the idea that we do not achieve alone. We do not exist in a vacuum with our trophies and our certificates removed from everyone else. Remember Carolyn Wentworth, the senior from Palo Alto? She expressed her distaste at the fact that her school bred competition and discouraged teamwork. Now, remember your friend with the summer job in Tibet? Encourage her, love her, support her, and be proud of her accomplishments because, get this, you can be proud of your own too. You have enough pride in yourself to share it. Remind your friends of that. Remind strangers sitting in silence of that. Remind the scared little 8th grader that you're giving a tour to of that. Your peers are not your enemies. Overachievement culture damages us and insulates us in a quiet and insidious way. The more you talk about your achievements, and the more you talk about them in a positive light, the more you can turn your ambition from a prison into a tool. Now, finally, and perhaps most importantly, but in my opinion, the hardest thing to do, know when to stop. All of us at Andover have ambition. All of our generation has ambition. But relentless ambition is almost synonymous with overachievement. Here's my honest advice to you. Take breaks. Let things go. I really mean it on this one. Let things go. Choose what you love and pursue what you love and value those accomplishments. And maybe, with the spare time that you guys have saved yourselves from taking all those breaks and letting things go, you can watch Legally Blonde. It really is a good movie. Thank you very much.